Leaving the child in the car. This is very, very important. Like I said, you guys know I've been uploading the breakdowns of those calls. It's interesting. I've been getting some interesting messages, right? On the last one I uploaded, where I was talking to this lady, and she was getting frustrated because I was asking her questions. The call started really rough, and the call basically, she was very defensive. All she wanted me to do was give her a number, and then she was going to decide on what she was going to do with that number.
Mm-hmm. You make me an offer. If I want it, I'll take it. If I don't, I won't.
Okay.
Period.
I did not give her a number. I kept asking her questions, and there was one section there where she talks about the tenants that are in the property, right? And what she's saying is that they haven't paid rent in like 4 or 5 months or something like that. And then I asked her this question. I said, so I'm assuming that it's not a problem that they're not paying rent for you. And she says, what? And I said, yeah, they're not. I'm assuming they're not. It's not a problem that they're not paying rent, to you. And she goes, what do you mean it's not a problem? Like she got like really emotional, right?
I'm in the process of evicting them because they're not paying rent even.
Yeah, I would
now.
too. I would too.
And so,
I mean, that's not a problem for you though, is it?
what do you mean?
Like them not paying rent?
What do you mean it's not a problem for me?
Oh no, I'm just asking because they're still there. That's why I'm asking.
She opened up more to me, got about the frustrations and everything that was going on, and I ended up getting her daughter's phone number, and then I called the daughter. Actually, that same day, I ended up calling her. We ended up following up with her on Friday, and I ended up getting the contract signed on Sunday. So it turned from that type of call to getting the 2 contracts. So. But here's the thing. An individual commented and said, hey, Max, I don't know if I like how you approached that. It sounded like, like she was going to hang up on you. The comment bled how that individual's buying tendencies, how he would approach the call based on his buying tendencies. Does that make sense? Now, let me explain that just a little bit more. Whenever you're talking to a prospect or whenever you're at an appointment on the phone or even in person, and this is why I titled it, Leave the Child in the Car. You always want to leave the child in the car. The child is the emotional aspect or the emotional stage of us individually, right? So the comment that was made in that reel was actually a perspective from that individual as he would like to be sold and how he would like to be spoken to, right? And this is what I mean. A lot of us get caught up in that. So we're afraid to ask the hard questions. We're afraid to even, make statements or even, things that I say on there. Like I said, right? Like saying that, hey, well, it sounds like it's not a problem for you. How do I know if it's not a problem or not, right? I know that's a really, really, really hard question to ask, but the more comfortable you get at asking hard questions, the better you're going to get at closing deals, right? So basically, one thing that I responded to this individual, you can go, the comments are still up. And I said, hey, listen, I appreciate the feedback, but your comment bleeds your own buying tendencies, right? And here's what I mean by that is that when you're going into an appointment, when you're with the sales prospect, the last thing you want to do is approach the sale how you would want to be approached. Because you got to understand, right? Yes, you want to be treated. Yes, you want to be trusted. Yes, you want to make sure that people understand that you want the prospect to know that you're understanding them. But you don't want to be making decisions on how you approach the sale based on how you would want to be talked to, right? Based on how you would want to be sold, because everybody has a different personality style. Not only personality style, but everybody has a different learning style. And what happens is that too many of us get the emotional side to come up, and what happens is that child in us says, don't ask that question. That's not what you're supposed to ask. That's not what you're supposed to say. That's not how you're supposed to approach it. And it's only being a reflection of who we are, right? Reflection of how we want to buy, how we want to be sold, how we should think that we should be approached. And that happens to a lot of us. Listen, It's not an easy thing to get over. It's a really difficult thing to get over. That's how we've been programmed, right? We've been programmed to approach things by the way, we think that you should be, the way we should be sold. And what's happening is that you are doing this. It's costing you money. It's costing you opportunities because you're approaching it too emotional. You're getting too emotionally involved in the sale. And this is the thing, right? Leaving your child in the car, because the child stage is actually the emotional side of things. So just make sure you leave the windows open. That's a joke for you guys. Never walk into an appointment, never get emotionally involved, and never get more emotional than the seller in the sale. And so that's what I was doing on that call, right? I don't know. I mean, I could have said like, hey, I can only imagine how much frustration this is for you. How much impact do you think that would have had, right? She would have said, yeah, it's frustrating. But when it came out of her, when she said, what do you mean it's not costing me anything? What do you mean it doesn't bother me? What do you mean that it doesn't matter? Her emotions got really high, right? Because a lot of times what happens is a lot of us think that a situation is actually pain when it's not, a situation that they could be going through. I mean, she could, by all means, it wouldn't have mattered to her. Like, yeah, I don't care if they're there. I mean, we're going to get them out someday. People that are in foreclosure, people that got liens, people that are going to lose their house. Those are just situations. When that situation becomes a personal motivation or personal pain, what happens is that then now you're gonna get to see that they need to sell the property because of that. So basically, what I'm trying to say tonight is make sure that when you're talking to prospects, never put yourself in the prospect's shoes. Now you can discover their situation so you can best to your ability provide a solution for whatever that problem is. But as soon as you put yourself in the prospect's shoes in regards to the way they think, in the way they make decisions, in the way they buy or the way they sell, what's going to happen is that it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you big time. So that's why I titled this, Leave the Child in the Car. Leave your emotions aside. Now, you might be thinking, Max, am I supposed to be like a cold-blooded killer shark or whatever? That's not what I'm saying here. All I'm saying is that make sure that you don't get more emotionally involved in the sale than the prospect, right? At the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about them. It's about their situation. It's about what they're going to do.